Hi, I'm Skyler. Welcome to AgamidCG, and today is day 25 of my 30-day sculpting challenge. The prompt for today is a bionic crab. The goal with this one was to create something that leans into hard surface modeling, but still has an organic feel. Instead of going fully robotic, a crab seemed like a good idea because it can be mechanical. They already have sort of the exoskeleton, sectioned pieces, but it's still grounded in nature. The sculpt started from a simple sphere and I flattened it out to get the base shape. The idea was to capture something that reads as a crab, but with a sleeker, almost spaceship-like design. Crabs are great for this because they already come in so many variations, which makes it easy to push the form in different directions. After that, the arms were blocked in, and this is where things got a bit tricky. Crab anatomy is surprisingly strange. The way that the segments overlap, the lack of clean taper, and the uneven proportions don't really map to something familiar like a mammal limb. So it took a bit of trial and error to find something that felt believable. At that point, I shifted my focus heavily onto the silhouette. Since this was a bionic design, there wasn't a need to stay strictly accurate to real anatomy, and that opened the door to changing how the arms fold. With that idea, the crab could potentially collapse into a single solid form, and that decision ended up driving a lot of the design that helped make the silhouette more interesting. Once the main shapes were all in place, I added the leg sections. Using the floor tool helped make sure that the claws and legs are all grounded correctly, which is a small thing, but it makes a big difference in how stable the sculpt feels. I mean, if this is something that's supposed to be functional, it should touch the ground and the right parts. From there, I explored the eye shapes. The idea here is that they would function more like lights, and I imagined a camera lens style rim that would go around them rather than organic eyes. Some masking came in to start pulling out the panel sections. Looking back, carving those lines in instead of pulling out the panels might have been a better approach because masking started to break the shapes that have already been established. So that's a good note for future iterations. A few final adjustments were made, and then time was up. Overall, this isn't a design that I am completely happy with, but the direction feels promising. The silhouette reads as a crab, and there are a lot of ideas here that I could have pushed further. As I was doing this, thoughts kept coming up as if I was to actually create this into a robot. Where might the servos live? Where is the hardware components? Could you actually pull something like this off? And I was thinking from a rigging perspective even, how would I rig something like this? How might it move? And I think having that sort of understanding and mindset in the background of your design, it can sometimes limit, but it can also influence something that might actually be usable down the road, especially if it's for a portfolio or something. There's a lot of room to improve here, and I think that's something that I could come back to, and I genuinely am interested in doing that. Partway through the session, I noticed there was a sense of urgency that I felt like I had to get something done that looks good or is decent enough to show. What happens if I show a completely unfinished crab that is missing legs, missing parts, or maybe I didn't get the claw done, or just maybe it looks terrible? I mean, it's not that great, but I was worried about it being completely unfinished. And that always brings up the question of when is it finished? Even if you add details on later and further in, when is it finished? And I think catching that feeling is important because that's not the point of this challenge. The goal here isn't to create 30 characters over 30 days. It's to stay consistent at showing up, to improve a little bit every day, and to get better at managing expectations. What this challenge, this process really creates is a starting base mesh, an idea, concepts, reference, a reflection on what I can improve in the direction I can go in, and a starting point that I can pick up any other time. I would have 30 sculpts at the end of this, 30 projects that I can pick up, move around on. If I'm bored with one, I can move to another, and I don't have to worry about getting stuck in what do I work on, what do I start on. I already have all those starting bases done. So the real goal in the hour is to establish a starting silhouette and complete the idea, the starting idea of the concept of where do I want to go with this? The goal is to get in an hour every day and show up to build a habit. Creative work doesn't have to be rushed. Taking time doesn't mean slower. It means making something worth coming back to. Thanks for watching. I hope you can connect with that insight a little bit. And if you have ideas for things that I should sculpt next, or topics for future videos, or feedback on this one, you can throw that in the comments. And I'll see you on day 26.